Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Govind Singh, your Stringsmate. आज मैं आप लोग के लिए लाया हूँ मेरे बिगनर गिटार कोर्स सीरीज का लेसन नंबर 10, which is about learning the chord theory. So friends, this is an advanced step in our theory lesson wherein हमको समझ में आएगा कि chords कैसे बनते हैं. Second thing जो हमको पता चलेगी is एक स्केल में कौन से कॉर्ड्स मेजर होने चाहिए, कौन से कॉर्ड माइनर होना चाहिए, वो भी हमें पता चलेगा. एंड वो क्यों होता है वो भी हमें पता चलेगा. थर्ड एंड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज इफ आई हैव टू बेसिकली स्विच फ्रॉम अ मेजर कॉर्ड टू अ माइनर कॉर्ड, अगर मुझे एक मेजर कॉर्ड को माइनर कॉर्ड में बदलना है तो मुझे वो भी समझ में आएगा कि वो भी कैसे बदला जाता है. राइट? So these are the three objectives that we will solve with just one theory lesson. Alright? So chaliye, let's quickly dive into today's lesson. And as you can see, the topic for today is chord theory. You would have already noticed कि मैंने यहाँ पे हमारा C major scale लिखा हुआ है. So I'll take an example of our most simplified C major scale, which is all natural notes, and I will explain you the chord theory. Alright? Alright. So first and foremost things friends, our chord is basically made up of three notes which are called triads. Alright? Minimum 3 notes हमको बजाने होते हैं एक chord के लिए, and which is called triads. Triads का मतलब होता है 3 notes. And what are those 3 notes? The 3 notes are the root note, the third note from the root, alright, third from the root, and the fifth note from the root again. So root plus third plus fifth अगर हम बजाते हैं साथ में, then we are playing that particular chord. Alright? Great. As of now अगर आपको ये थोड़ा confusing लग रहा है, so just hold on for a minute and moment I start taking example, आपको ये बहुत ही आसानी से क्लियर हो जाएगा. राइट? Okay, so let's take example of our very first chord, which is our C. So in the C chord we will have our root note as C. Our third note will be third note from C, which is second, third, E, and a fifth note will be fifth from the root note. So second, third, fourth, and fifth, which is G note, right? G. Okay. So when we are playing C, E, and G, root, third and fifth, we are playing our C chord, right? It can be anywhere on the guitar. It will be the combination of these 3 notes only. Simple? Great. मैं आपको एक और लेवल नीचे ले जाऊंगा इसमें in detail. So now we will also understand or talk about the spacing between these notes. रूट और थर्ड के बीच में कितना स्पेस है होल स्टेप हाफ स्टेप के हिसाब से, एंड थर्ड और फिफ्थ के बीच में कितना स्टेप है. ऑलराइट? सो लेट्स टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ द करंट थिंग. सो इन द सी कॉर्ड आई हैव between C and E I have a spacing of C and D, one whole step, D and E, one more whole step. So overall 2 whole step. So it will be 2 between C and E. 2. Correct? Between E and G, what is the spacing? Sorry. E and F will be half, and F and G will be one whole step, right? So this is half step, this is whole step. So that will be half plus 1, which is 1.5. Alright? So 2 over 1.5. So the spacing between third and the fifth is 1.5. Okay? Just let it be there. Okay? And when we complete this exercise for till our B chord, all right, then we will come back. That why are we understanding the space between the root and the third and the third and the fifth. Okay, so bear with me. I assure you that आपका time waste नहीं होगा, right? You will definitely learn a very important, or rather you will definitely uncover a very important learning on your guitar or in your musical journey. All right, let's quickly begin for the next chord. So D will be our root note, third will be second, third, F, fifth will be second, third, fourth, fifth, which is A. Distance between D and F, one step, half step, so 1.5. Between F and A, F and G के बीच में whole step, G and A के बीच में whole step, so 2 steps, यानी 2. So 1.5 over 2. Okay. Now E will be our root note, third will be E, F, G, so G, then F, G, A, B, fifth will be our B note. Distance, half step, 1 step, 1.5, 1.5 between the root and the third, and third and the fifth, G and A के बीच में whole step, A and B के बीच में whole step, so 2 whole steps. Again 1.5 over 2. Alright? Great. F is my root note, third will be A, fifth will be C, F, A, C. Distance, F and A के बीच में 2, so 2, whole step, A and C के बीच में whole step, half step, so 1.5. Alright? G is my root note, third will be B, fifth will be C के बाद में क्या है, D है, right? घूम रहा है ना? Distance, G और A and B के बीच में whole step and whole step, so 2. B and C के बीच में half step, C and D के बीच में whole step, so 1.5. 2 over 1.5. Okay? A, B, C. Now A chord, so A is my root, third will be C, and fifth will be D, E. So A, C, E. Distance, 1, half, so 1.5. Between third and the fifth, C and E. So C and D के बीच में whole step, D and E के बीच में half, again whole step. So 2, 1.5 over 2. Right? Last one. B. Root is my B. Third will be B, C, D. So D. Fifth will be E, F. Second, third, fourth, fifth. B, D, F. Distance between B and D is B and C is half step, C and D is whole step, 1.5. Right? And between D and F, D and E is whole step, E and F is half step, so 1.5. 1.5 over 1.5. Alright? Great. So now that we have written all our chord notes in the scale of C. Okay, let me also number that. So for example, this is my first note, this is my second note, third note in the scale, fourth note in the scale, fifth note in the scale, sixth, seventh and eighth. Eighth is the octave itself, so it will come back to the same note, right? Similarly, there will be 7 chords also in that scale. First chord, second chord, third chord, fourth chord, fifth chord, sixth chord, seventh chord. So if I am taking the example of C major scale, अगर मैं C major scale का example ले रहा हूँ, so C major scale में मेरा फर्स्ट कॉर्ड होगा C कॉर्ड, सेकेंड कॉर्ड होगा D कॉर्ड, थर्ड कॉर्ड होगा E कॉर्ड, फोर्थ कॉर्ड होगा F, फिफ्थ होगा G, सिक्स्थ होगा A कॉर्ड, सेवेंथ होगा B कॉर्ड, and then back to C, which is again the C chord. You come back to the root, right? So ये तो हमको समझ गया कि स्केल में 7 नोट्स होते हैं और 7 कॉर्ड्स भी बन सकते हैं, राइट? सो 7 कॉर्ड्स भी वही कॉर्ड्स बनेंगे जो नोट्स हमने यहाँ पे लिखे हुए हैं अब तक. बट ये जो हमने गणित किया है, द मैथ दैट वी हैव डन आउट हियर, व्हाई हैव वी डन दैट? ऑलराइट, व्हाट इज बेसिकली 2.5 2 over 1.5, sorry, 2 over 1.5, 1.5 over 2, 1.5 over 2, 1.5 over 1.5. What is all this? All right. Here is the significance of that. So when I say 2 over 1.5, which means when there is a two whole steps between the root and the third, you have 2 steps, and between the third and the fifth you have 1.5 step. All right, so 2 over 1.5, that particular chord would be a major chord. Okay, so I will write major as capital M. Okay, so my C chord, the first chord in my C major scale, which is naturally the C chord, will be a major chord. Whenever the distance between my root and the third is 1.5, 1 whole step, 1 half step, and the third and the fifth it is 2 whole steps, which is 1.5 over 2, it is a minor chord, which I will denote as small m. Okay, major, minor. So my second chord in any major scale, whether you are in a key of C, whether you are in a key of D, E, F, G, F flat, A sharp, whatever, your second chord will be a minor chord. जो सेकेंड नोट होगा उस स्केल का, उसका जो कॉर्ड बजेगा वो माइनर फॉर्म में ही बजेगा. इट विल बी प्लेड इन द माइनर फॉर्म. द सेकेंड कॉर्ड हैज टू बी प्लेड इन द माइनर फॉर्म. Similarly, 1.5 over 2, minor. 2 over 1.5, major. 2 over 1.5, major. 1.5 over 2, minor. 1.5 over 1.5, which is our seventh, it's called diminished. Okay, so it's a diminished chord. Generally diminished chord को हम बॉलीवुड गानों में या जनरली रॉक वगैरह में भी ज़्यादा यूज़ नहीं होता वो. We only play with this 6 major things, major and minor chords. Diminished chord we don't use. Diminished is more oftenly used into jazz music. Jazz music में ज़्यादा यूज़ होता है, right? But from our understanding perspective, we should always know that 1.5 over 1.5 is the diminished chord, right? Great. So now सारांश समझते हैं कि ये जो हमने इतनी लर्निंग करी है इसका मतलब क्या है. अगर मैं कोई भी स्केल में हूँ तो मेरा फर्स्ट, फोर्थ एंड फिफ्थ, सॉरी, फर्स्ट, फोर्थ एंड फिफ्थ, 1, 4, 5, 1, 4 and 5 will be a major chord, right? And 2, 3 and 6 will be the minor chord. जैसा कि मैंने यहाँ पे लिखा है, my first, probably मैं इसको रोमन में इलस्ट्रेट कर देता हूँ. So my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth is a minor, so small v and I, right? So minor, second, third, sixth, major, first, fourth, fifth, and seventh is diminished. All right, you be in any key, this is a fact. Next lesson जो हम गिटार पे करेंगे, I will show you how to play, because I have already shown you the chord shape, right? In my previous lesson, lesson number 9, how to play it on the guitar. Not the chord shape, sorry, the scale shape. So based on that scale shape, I will be able to demonstrate how do you basically play this 1, 4, 5 and 2, 3, 6 on the guitar. All right. Great. So thank you for watching, friends, and please like and subscribe the lesson, and in the next lesson I will teach you how to play it on the guitar. So stay tuned, and thank you very much.